Let me tell you something about the Victoria Cross. 182 years of history. Been awarded since 1856. Britain's highest military honor. Given out 1,358 times total. One of those was awarded entirely on enemy testimony. Think about that for a second. 1,358 medals. From the Crimean War to Afghanistan. 182 years of British military history. One single Victoria Cross, based on what the enemy said. Not based on British witnesses, not based on Allied reports, not based on surviving crew members, based on what the Germans testified. His name was Lloyd Allan Trigg, Flight Lieutenant, Royal New Zealand Air Force, August 11, 1943, Atlantic Ocean. He attacked a German U-boat. His plane was already on fire, already going down. He could have turned away. He didn't. He pressed the attack, all the way, until his plane hit the water. He died, but the U-boat went down too. And the German survivors, floating in the Atlantic, looked at each other and said, "That man was a hero." They told the British, and the British awarded Lloyd Trigg the Victoria Cross, based entirely on what the enemy said. The only time in history, before or since, the enemy testified to a British soldier's courage. And Britain listened. This is Lloyd Allan Trigg, and this is the most remarkable story of honor I've ever found. Let me tell you everything. Okay, let's give you some context. Because to really understand this story, you need to know what the Victoria Cross means. 1856, Queen Victoria created the highest honor for British soldiers, for bravery, extraordinary bravery, conspicuous gallantry in the face of the enemy. It's almost impossible to earn. Thousands of soldiers serve. Hundreds go into battle. Very few earn the Victoria Cross. And most of the ones who do, die. Because the kind of courage it takes to earn a VC is usually the kind that gets you killed. 182 years. 1,358 VCs. Every single one is an incredible story. But Lloyd Trigg's is different, because no Allied witness saw him do it. May 5, 1914, Puhora, New Zealand. Lloyd Allan Trigg was born. Small town, North Island. Normal family, normal childhood. He grew up, wanted to be a pilot, joined the Royal New Zealand Air Force in 1941. World War II was in full swing. Got trained, became a bomber pilot. B-24. Liberator, big, heavy, 4 engines, used for submarine hunting. 1943, he was assigned to 200 Squadron, part of the RAF, but most of the crew were New Zealanders. Their job, patrol the Atlantic Ocean. Look for German U-boats, find them, sink them. Lloyd was a good pilot, experienced, calm. His crew trusted him. But up until August 11, 1943, he'd never earned a VC. That day, everything changed. August 11, 1943. Early morning, Lloyd and his crew climbed into their Liberator. Routine patrol mission, off the west coast of Africa, Atlantic Ocean. Look for German submarines. If you find one, report it, or sink it. They flew for hours over the ocean, looking down, searching for periscopes, searching for hulls. Submarines stay underwater most of the time, but sometimes they have to surface, to get air, to recharge batteries. That's when they're vulnerable. Afternoon, Lloyd saw something on the surface, a submarine. U-468, German U-boat. Commander, Oberleutnant Clemens Schamong. Experienced commander, middle of the war. They were recharging their batteries. On the surface, vulnerable, worst possible time. The lookout saw it, aircraft flying low, coming straight at them. Liberator, alarm went off, crew rushed to the deck. To the anti-aircraft guns, too late to dive, only chance, shoot it down. U-468's anti-aircraft guns opened fire, 20 millimeters, automatic. They filled the sky with bullets, and Lloyd's Liberator flew straight into it. The bullets hit the Liberator. One engine caught fire, then another, 2 engines burning. Lloyd felt it. The plane was losing control. Fire spreading, going down. Now think about this. You're the pilot. Your plane is on fire. You're going down. You're going to die. In front of you, the enemy submarine. You could turn away, try to ditch the plane in the ocean, maybe survive. Or you can press the attack. Use your last moments to sink that submarine. But you'll definitely die. Lloyd made a choice. Forward. The Liberator was engulfed in flames, smoke blinding the crew, heat unbearable. Lloyd pressed the attack. He dove at the submarine straight, directly at it. The U-468 crew looked up, burning plane coming right at them, and Lloyd released the depth charges. The depth charges exploded next to the submarine. Water shot into the air. The shock wave hit U-468's hull. Catastrophic damage. The Liberator hit the water. Flat. Fast. Lloyd and his entire crew died instantly. U-468 started taking on water. The bomb damage was too severe. Shamong tried to dive. It didn't work. The submarine went down. Most of the crew went down with it. Shamong died. Only 7 to 10 men made it to the surface. Now they're floating in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Their submarine is gone. The aircraft is gone. No survivors from either side except them. Days passed. The German sailors kept floating, clinging to debris, sun, thirst, sharks, trying to survive. And they talked to each other about what happened. Most of them said the same thing. That British pilot, did you see what he did? They saw. Everyone saw. The plane was on fire. He could have turned away, but he didn't. He flew straight at them. On fire, his crew dying, pressed the attack all the way. The Germans knew courage. They were warriors, soldiers. They'd never seen anything like that. One of them said, "That man was a hero." The others agreed. "We need to tell someone." A few days later, an Allied ship spotted them, picked them up. Prisoners of war. They were interrogated. Standard procedure. "How did your submarine sink? Where's your crew? What did you see?" The Germans told the story. All of it. British Liberator. They fired. Hit it. The plane was burning but kept attacking. The interrogator took notes. Interesting, but standard. Then one of the Germans said something else. "That British pilot, he deserves your Victoria Cross." The interrogator stopped. "What?" "That pilot. His plane was on fire. He could have turned away. He killed us, but we've never seen courage like that. He deserves your highest medal." The interrogator looked at him. "Is this a trick? Some kind of game?" No. The Germans were serious. All of them said the same thing. That pilot was a hero. The report went up the chain of command. Senior officers read it. They were shocked. The enemy was recommending a British pilot for the Victoria Cross? This had never happened. Never. They investigated. Lloyd Allan Trigg, 200 Squadron. Missing since August 11th. Entire crew missing. Liberator missing. No Allied witnesses. U-468. Confirmed sunk. But how? Only the German survivors account. Now here's the problem. To award a Victoria Cross, you need evidence. Usually, Allied witnesses, reports, survivors. In this case, none of that. Only the enemy's word. Command had to think about this. Would the Germans lie? Why would they? What did they gain from honoring the pilot who sank their submarine? Nothing. They thought about it, debated it, and made a decision. We trust the enemy. If German sailors are saying this British pilot deserves the Victoria Cross, if they're willing to honor the man who killed them, then it must be real. December 2nd, 1943, Flight Lieutenant Lloyd Allan Trigg was awarded the Victoria Cross, posthumously, based entirely on enemy testimony. First time in 182 years of Victoria Cross history, and the last. Okay, hold on, because I need to explain something. This isn't just a cool story. This is proof of something. Courage is universal. Lloyd Trigg was a New Zealander, flying for the British Air Force, fighting the Germans. Different sides, different flags, different armies. But courage? Courage doesn't speak a language. Courage doesn't recognize a flag. Courage is courage. And those German sailors, they'd just been killed by their enemy. Their friends died. Their commander died. Their submarine sank, but they honored Lloyd for what he did. They did this during the war, while starving, as prisoners. They told their captors that man was a hero, and the British listened. Because some things are bigger than war. The Victoria Cross exists for this, for extraordinary courage, and sometimes even the enemy has to see it. Lloyd Allan Trigg died at 29 years old. He was married, no children, never came home to his family. But he left a legacy, the only Victoria Cross in history awarded on enemy testimony, the only one. 182 years, 1,358 medals, one. And every time someone says, the enemy is always the enemy, every time someone says, there's no honor in war, you can point to Lloyd Allan Trigg's story, because those German sailors, they honored the man who killed them, because courage deserves to be honored, always. So what does Lloyd Allan Trigg's story teach us? A few things. First, courage is universal. Allies saw it, the enemy saw it, both sides recognized it. Some things transcend sides. Second, who you are in your final moments matters. Lloyd could have turned away, maybe survived, but he chose to attack. That moment defined who he was. Third, even the enemy recognizes honor. Those Germans didn't have to lie, they gained nothing from it. But they told the truth, because what they saw couldn't be denied. Fourth, some medals aren't earned, they're witnessed. Lloyd didn't try for the Victoria Cross, he just did his job. And even the enemy had to see it. Let me ask you that question again. The one from the beginning. You're a pilot. Your plane is on fire, you're going down, you're going to die. In front of you, an enemy submarine. You can turn away, maybe survive, or you can attack. Use your last moments to sink that submarine, but you'll definitely die, and only the enemy will see it. No allied witnesses, none of your friends will know, only the people trying to kill you will see. Would you still attack? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if I would. But Lloyd Allan Trigg knew, and he attacked, and he died. And even the enemy had to say, that man was a hero. If this story got to you, hit that like button. Subscribe, we find stories like this every single day. Drop a comment. Would you have attacked, even if only the enemy would see? I'm genuinely asking, because Lloyd Allan Trigg did. And for 182 years, it's the only VC like it. Lloyd Allan Trigg. August 11th, 1943, died at 29, sank an enemy submarine. The enemy honored him for it. A moment in history that's never been repeated. Some people fight for medals. Lloyd Allan Trigg just did his job, and even the enemy had to see it.